When I tell people that I'm a middle school teacher, they give me an eye roll, a sigh, and oh my gosh. To be honest with you, I love working with middle school kids. They're getting older, they're starting to develop their powers of expression, so they're sort of creating an understanding of the world, but at the same time, they're still kids, they still get really excited about games, competitions, things like that, so they still have that childlike enthusiasm. I'm gonna give you guys 6 tips that I have learned over the course of my past 3 years of teaching that have helped me get to know my students and have them actually listen to me. Number 1 is relationship building. This is the key. This is why I started off with this one. Get to know your students. That has been the biggest thing for me. I try to get to know what they care about, what their interests are, who they like, who they don't like, what they love to do outside of school, because it helps me connect with them human to human. And I think that the biggest thing is once they see that I care about them, that I know what they like, they are more willing to listen to me and want to do what I say. Another benefit of knowing what their interests are is I can shout out some of their interests while I'm explaining something and pique their interest. So if I know that a lot of my students love soccer, I can give a soccer analogy if I'm teaching about something in science that has to do with physical activity. If I have kids that I know love anime, I can use an anime character in one of my stories. Little things like this kind of mix into my teaching, make it more engaging. Students will perk up when they hear something that they're interested in. So by targeting different populations of students throughout my lesson, I can keep them engaged. The second thing that I love to do to connect with my students is show that I'm human myself. I talk about my own interests and they connect with me on that, or at least they see that I'm a person outside of school. I'm not just some robot that comes into the classroom and tells them what to do all day and then leaves, or even sleeps at school, because I remember when I was a little kid, I used to think my teachers slept at school. So it's really good to show my students that I am a human being, I have interests outside of school as well. And then them knowing that I'm human and that I work through things as well helps them have some empathy towards me as well. So some days, I might be like, oh, I'm really tired, or I'm sad about something that's going on in my personal life today, and they're very supportive. They're like, oh, we got you, Mr. Rana, we know how it is. And I think just sharing those things helps us sort of continue building those relationships and helps them trust me as a human being as well and want to listen to me, because they're like, oh, he's also a person, he's also working through his stuff, but yet he's here every day to teach us, so I'm gonna listen to him. The third thing, and this is something that I wish I'd been doing a lot sooner, is I tell my students that I love them and I tell them that I'm proud of them, and I mean it. I don't just say it, fakely or whatever, but I genuinely tell them that I love them and I show it to them. I believe actions speak louder than words. I show my students that I love them. I show them by the way that I show up for them every day. I show them by the way that I put a lot of energy and effort into my lesson plans. And I show them by genuinely caring about them, which goes back to number 1, relationship building. If you show your students you care, when you ask them to listen to you, they will listen because they know that you care about them and that you listen to them whenever they have something that they're going through. The fourth point, and the reason I made this video, is because maybe some teachers are sitting there trying to get their kids engaged, trying to get the attention of their students. Nobody's listening, everyone's goofing off, doing their own thing. I have noticed, even at like the worst moments where I feel like nobody's doing what I want them to do, there's always at least one kid, if not more. Usually, even at the point where I feel like, oh my gosh, I've lost control, this is chaos, there's usually only like 10 kids not doing what they're supposed to be doing and 20 kids that are. And so if I focus on those 20 kids and I just shout out positive affirmation after positive affirmation on all the good things that are happening, all the kids, those 10 kids that are being loud and noisy and crazy and not doing what I want, will hear that and they want that positive affirmation too, so they're gonna start doing what I asked them to do as well. The fifth point is, if I'm struggling specifically with a student or maybe 2 or 3 students, I'll have one-on-one conversations with them during independent work time or after class, and we'll just reflect together. I'll share with them how I feel based on their behavior, share that, I'm human, like what they were doing today in class was frustrating or upsetting to me, or maybe disappointing to me, whatever it is. And then I want to hear them out, hear what they have to say, hear, what's going on. Usually I lead with that. I'm like, if a kid is just acting, abnormally, I guess, loud and energetic, I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Like, are you okay? Like, what can I do to support you to help you be successful in our lesson today? And just those little check-ins, I think, help students pause and, you know, think about their actions, think about the fact that it's having an impact on me, who is somebody that has shown that I care about them, that I love them, I support them. And if they're causing me frustration or anger, that usually kind of gets them to reflect and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. So let me, you know, let's work towards this better solution. The sixth and final thing is to never take students' actions personally against me. My first year of teaching, I will be honest with you, I was definitely guilty of this. There were some things that students did or said that might have been, you know, disrespectful, or they clearly weren't thinking, and I used to take it personally. I was like, this student has something against me, I don't know what I did, and I used to get really upset and sad about it. I have stopped doing that. It's still difficult not to, but I always remind myself to never take anything personally. Almost every single time a student is going through something else in their life and they're just bringing that to school, and sometimes they might accidentally take it out on me, but that doesn't mean that there's like a, you know, some sort of thing going on between us. I try to never take anything personally between us. Again, those one-on-one conversations really help to kind of clear the air if it was a particularly challenging day for a student, just for us to kind of talk it through. They won't always share what's going on. Sometimes they do, and my jaw literally drops and I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, you're a child going through this, that, you know, that's so traumatizing or so terrible. But yeah, not taking things personally has helped me a lot. Kind of just keep my cool, stay calm, stay respectful to students, even if they're being disrespectful to me, as long as I continue to be respectful to them and remind myself, sometimes in those moments I have to tell myself, I love this child. I don't know what's going on in their life, and I love them no matter what. And I keep reminding myself of that. Eventually they'll feel that love and they'll reciprocate it in time. It does take time, it takes patience. It's definitely not something that's easy or that's learned overnight. A big thing that's helped me overall in doing all 6 of these things is mindfulness and meditation, because that has helped me calm myself down in situations that are stressful to me and react from a place of calm, compassion, and love, which just diffuses situations so much faster. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or any further videos you want me to make about the topics of behavior management or building relationships with students, stuff like that. I'd be happy to answer it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, because I post new videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.